Wanna flex? Would you care to join my home?
Welcome everybody on this Thursday evening. I'm your host tonight, Shy Guy, and this is Trackalicious 2022 season, round 3 at Zandvoort. For those of you who don't know, this is our triple header format. We're going to have 3 races for you tonight. And in between each race is going to be a qualifying session. So you're going to have 10 minutes of qualifying, followed by a 15-minute race, another 10-minute qualifying, another 15-minute race, a third 10-minute qualifying, and then the last race of the evening. All right. So, get this sorted. As we're just wrapping up the free practice here. Hey, Whelpcakes. Hey, Cardo. 949 Sim Racing. Thanks for the raid. How are you guys doing tonight? What were you guys doing on stream? Did I see LFMs? Maybe. Anyways. Hey, Vulcan. Whelp's got that bionic hip now. He has the advantage. We're just wrapping up free practice here. About 10 seconds left to go. Couple of drivers on their final lap of the session. Right now we got Aaron Free. Currently 3/10 up on his current time of a 1:47.175. See if he's able to improve it all going into qualifying. And it looks like he's able to cross the line with a 146.745, increasing his time. Who's that last one we got on track? That is Kerstetter with Area 52 Sim Racing in that 28 McLaren. Oh, I bet. Maserati is scary in any track. Oh, and he invalidated, and that sends us to our qualifying session. So, with only 10 minutes of qualifying, it is a slight difference from Nürburgring. I believe it was 7 minutes for Nürburgring. Meaning, you had, like, to find the space towards the beginning of the session, or else you might not have been able to get a good lap in, which we saw a few times at the Nürburgring. Doubled. Yeah, it's pretty weird, Vulcan. So we're on board with a Roscoe in the Tacos Locos BMW. Be the first one out on the track. He'll be the first one to start his flyer. Now with the grid this big, it looks like they are... looks like we're probably going to get 5 minutes per division. So it looks like the gray banners are out now. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. You got your favorite driver. They either have a gray background, or like behind their manufacturer, or a white background. So I'm assuming the first 5 minutes is gray because all the grays are out, and the second 5 minutes is going to be for the white banner drivers. I'm assuming, Card. I'm assuming it's going to be 5 and 5. So, yeah, it would be very hard with the amount of drivers on track. Imagine trying to get enough room at Zandvoort with 31 drivers in the server. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna butcher that name, but Deco Andy Oak? Deco... Yeah, I'm gonna go Deco Andy Yoke. If I didn't pronounce that right, sorry. But how are you doing tonight, Andy or Andre? Gotcha. Jeez, that is a big gap between Orozco and the rest of the field right now. As I believe, is that Kostovich in the 747? I always forget if it's Kostovich or Lewis, and it is... No, it's none of them. It's Engelman. I don't know why... It's 494 was the other one. So he makes this way down this small straight. Going around the Audi S. So he makes his way down this other small straight. Comes around Kumo. The final turn of the track, Luvenuk. Fast right-hander. Very easy to go wide. Keeps it clean. Where is he going to set the bar? Orozco is going to set the bar with a 47.567. As we got 747, he's about to cross the line. We'll see where he ends up. Engelman, he takes provisional pole with a 46.680 as Cody Wessam, second slower than him. So we got more drivers crossing the line now. We got 33 of Pickerel and Iglesias. Bravo. Engelman with a stunner of a first lap. Has about just under 7.5 tenths to the closest driver behind him. As we got, looks like 55, we got Eric Kukasian about to start his first flyer of the session. Okay, maybe not, but he did slow down quite a lot before start crossing that line. So maybe he just didn't feel like he had a good lap and wants to get another go at it, give himself a little bit of space. As he will be the second last driver in this Division 2, I want to say, for the qualifying. Vulcan made the pyramid. As right now, Engelman's still sitting on top with a 46.680 in that 747 Maserati. Tanner Masters, he crosses the line, bumping him up to P8. Don't tap him. Okay, that was close, but he hit a 148, 157. Good finish by him. Put him up to 8. And now we still got Eric Kukasian. Making his way down to Kumo. Comes around there. This is going to be his final lap of the session. Where is this going to place him? I believe he kept that valid. As he's going to cross the line P13 with a 48.712. But 949 car, is that Lewis? Ooh, Robert Lewis with that scorcher of a lap. He finishes on provisional pole with a 146.352, setting pole for his division. As it looks like we have number 14 of Mostachero, Andre Mostachero. He will be the first Division 1 driver to start his flyer. As you can see the field slowly trying to build up not build up, but leave a little bit of a gap before they start the qualifier. The Ginetta is a fun car to drive. As we got just under 2 minutes of this first qualifying session to go down. Looks like each driver should get one more lap in at the minimum. No, not the minimum, but like they'll probably get one more lap in each. Mostachero comes around the second last corner in this 14 Aston Martin. Makes his way around this fast right-hander and down the main straight. Where is he going to cross the line from 24th to 1st with a 45.762? But you got 27 behind him who jumps up. That was Riley Manier, about a 10.5 off pace, followed by the other Mostachero, who's about just under 2.5 tenths. And you got M. Tansky about 6 tenths. Ali G, he crosses the line, taking provisional pole with a 145.295 as these drivers are quickly crossing this line. for the second last time of the session. Who is 52? We got Danny Byston. He's about to cross the line from 29th to pole with a 144.705. That's provisional pole, currently 5.90 ahead of Ali G. You had is that Jeremy Padberg? Jacob Padberg, sorry, with Beach GT and that 888 McLaren. Currently, in all that madness, he's up at a P4 right now. As right now, Mostachero, D Mostachero, to be precise, in the 84 Aston Martin, he's currently 5/10 up. If he nails these last two corners, this might bump him up to pole position. Nah, I don't think it would. No, well, he still needs 1.3 seconds. I don't know where my math came in, but this is definitely going to improve his position as he comes across the line for the final time from 6th to 4th. As we will hop on board with somebody. Matt Morrison of Morrison Motorsport. Just going to come around the final corner down the main straight. Currently sitting P24. Jumps up to only P19. Definitely, we're probably expecting a better result from that, as he might be in a little bit of trouble, as Danny Byston's going to cross the line. Was not able to improve that time, but he was very close, as 85 is about to cross. Oh, that is the session. That is the first qualifying session, as Danny Byston takes pole position. So the thing about these short qualifying sessions, when you only have 5 minutes, and that's not very much time to set laps. You get like 2 laps tops, I would say. So if we probably want to set a banker and then push the second lap, where if you invalidate both and start from the back, especially at a circuit like Zandvoort, where the overtaking opportunities are very scarce, you need a good qualifying session. Otherwise, you may be in trouble. Whereas some people, they like Zandvoort as a track, and others don't like it. It's a very interesting track for sure. It'll be very interesting to see how much overtaking actually gets done, especially during this first race while everyone's trying to test the waters. Well, just over 2 minutes to go. We'll do a quick track or a grid rundown. Seems like the star of the season so far. I believe he has a perfect record, winning every race other than the qualifying races. But every race that matters for points, he has won every race. That is insane. You got Danny Byston taking pole position with Area 52 Sim Racing. Alongside him, you got Andre Mostachero alongside him, looking to take that perfect streak away from him. In the second row, you got Ali G with Nutella Motorsports and the other Mostachero in the 84 Aston Martin. Next up, you got Joseph Kostovich and Jay Padberg, one in for 5th and 6th. Ed Kerstetter currently sitting P7th after his qualifying session. Riley Manier in P8. in that 27 BMW. Then you got Milos Tansky in that 411 Porsche. Rounding out your top 10 is R. King with Nutella Motorsports. Now in P11, we got Robert Lewis, who also, not just P11, but he took pole position for his division. Alongside him, you got Aaron Free in the 99 Maserati. Right behind him is Jeremy Engelman in another Maserati. Alongside Engelman, you got Mike Burkhoff in the 47 Camaro. 15th and 16th, you got Dave Ward and Justin Beachley. Justin Beachley so far this season has been a pretty consistent driver, and he's been quick while doing it. Next up, you got in the next row, you got a Chevy Lockout. 17th, you got Armando Iglesias and Andrew Pickerel. In 19th and 20th, currently a little out of position, you got Matt Morrison and Professor Chronotis. That's your top 20. 21, 22, you got Orozco and Wassam. Eric Miller in 23rd. I don't know if it's Eric Miller, but E. Miller. You got Jose Bravo in the 24th. Jay Snyder out of place, 25th. You got Tanner Masters, 26th. Jason Roy Alvarez in 27th. Eric Gukasian in 28th. Dylan Smith in 29th with HMS Racing. You got Denny P, another HMS Racing teammate. Then you have Jason Provolone with Nutella Motorsports, currently starting at P31 at the back of the grid. Now, I don't believe he set a lap, so this could be a very rough one, especially with only 15 minutes in this race. You don't have a lot of time to make moves, and Zandvoort is not very... It's not known for its passing opportunities, let's say that. Yeah, as we got the chat going, we got everyone's getting their popcorn ready. As we still have probably a minute or two before they start making their way down the main straight towards the start of this triple header night. Now, I wonder who is going to be the driver who's going to dethrone Danny Byston. Like, he's looked pretty invincible throughout this season. He had a good battle in Spa last week with, was it Ali or was it one of the Mostacheros? It might have been, I can't remember who it was, but they were fighting it out, but once Byston got ahead, it was game over from there. As they make their way down the main straight, side by side, waiting for the green flag, waiting for the stewards or race control to like what they see to send this race to green flag conditions. And we are green as 23 gets a drive-through off the start. Danny Byston gets a good start. He leads up ahead, takes the defensive line early, with Mostachero right behind him, who was 23. That was Jay Alvarez gets an early drive-through. Very unfortunate as these drivers come around this banked turn. Danny Byston currently leading this race, but Andre Mostachero floats close in trail. And then Ali G not too far behind. You got Kostovic in the background. These top three kind of have a little bit of a built himself a little bit of a gap in the opening stages of this race. As it looks like there was yellow towards the beginning of the race, but everyone is on track and nobody is really falling behind, so there may have been a little door rubbing, but that's racing. Hopefully nothing too serious, as Danny Bison's still in the lead of this race. Got a good start from him. So we got Mastachero and Ali G with Naps and Nutella Motorsports. Built himself about 8 tenths from Kostovich behind, as it looks like 9 got in a little bit of contact. Looks like Dylan Smith may have been involved in an incident, dropping him back to 31st and away from the pack. As they complete the first lap of this race, just over 13 minutes to go, Danny Bison still in the lead. As we got Kerstetter and Free, Kerstetter decides to make the move he does and he thinks better of it, but he's letting Burkhoff know that he is there. But Kerstetter needs to also be aware of the threat behind him of Aaron Free in that Maserati. As we got Beachley right behind Iglesias. Now these two are fighting for championship points here. They are in the same division. So we got Cody Wassam right behind Chronotis, trying to hunt him down. As he come around this fast left-right, or right-left-right, I guess, on this fast right-hander. As Alvarez, he took his drive-through early on. A very unfortunate start, but can bounce back in the second and third. And the race isn't over yet. As we got Burkhoff and Engelman and Kerstetter very close, as Burkhoff has the inside line. Kerstetter's going to stick his nose in. They're going to keep it clean. Oh, Engelman goes a little wide to keep it on track, but now both the Maseratis are side by side. As it looks like Kerstetter leads that quick little... I forgot what I was going to say, but that action... Kerstetter comes out ahead. Currently sitting P11 as 23 gets a drive-through for speeding in pit lane. Was that Alvarez? Because I believe that was Alvarez again. That was Alvarez. You hate to see it as... Yeah, that is unfortunate. It's Matt Morrison currently trying to hunt down Andrew Pickerel in that 33 Camaro. That American muscle. Ooh, as it looks like 3 in the background got caught out. That's a Orozco. Orozco may have got tangled up in that hairpin. That bank turn. And yes, Cardo, it was Alvarez again. He got a... he sped in the pit lane, apparently. Yeah, unfortunate start to the evening, but he still has 2 more races to bounce back, so, you know, maybe just start hot lapping for the rest of this race, getting a good groove for the next race. Oh, as Bravo and who is that? Ward. As Bravo and Dave Ward got caught up in a little incident, as Ward is still facing the wrong way, as he joins in a safe manner, but he loses quite a few positions as Jose Bravo currently being hunted down by Justin Beachley, as it looks like Beachley was able to get by Miller, I believe, or was Miller behind? Anyways, just train of cars See what's going on in the front of the field as Danny Bison has about just over a second and a half on Mostachero. Mostachero has about half a second on Ali G, and Ali G has about 1.4 seconds to Kostovic, but Kostovic was able to overtake the other Mostachero, pushing him back to 5th. As the racing in the front of the grid isn't insanely close, especially between 1 and P2, but P2 and P3 are very close, as it looks like Padberg went off. Oh no, this has been heartbreak for a couple drivers so far, and we aren't even halfway through yet. Padberg currently trying to hunt down King while being hunted down by Milos Tansky. As Kerstetter gets the inside line onto Lewis, they're going to keep it clean, keep it side by side, going through this right left-hander. So they make their way around Kumo. Kerstetter still ahead. It looks like Lewis may have hit a little bit of the sand there, slowing down his exit, giving Kerstetter a bit of a gap as they make their way around the final turn down the main straight. That puts Kerstetter up into the top 10. As we still have Beachley trying to hunt down Jose Bravo. As we are halfway through this first race. As you see Orozco coming out of the pits, he must have suffered some damage after that earlier incident that we saw. As Lewis and Tansky side by side, Lewis has, I don't know what's the inside and what's the outside. He has the inside now, as Tansky might actually be under fire from Burkhoff. Tansky has to take a little bit more of a defensive line into there, but this train of about 7 or 8 drivers is tight. Ooh, as it looks like, who is that? That was Padberg and Free. Free's going to try the inside. He's not going to be able to get his nose in there, as these drivers are still going at it. Oh, looks like there was a bit of contact. Oh, no. Oh, and oh, you hate to see it. It looks like Pickerel, something happened with Pickerel, and he slid into other cars and collected them. That is a very unfortunate turn of events, as this train of about 6 drivers, 4 of them, 2 of them side by side, Aaron Free and Jay Snyder. Snyder's going to back off a little bit, it seems. Maybe have the slipstream going down this main straight. But Snyder, he's also under attack from Gukasian behind him. As he has a slipstream, he's going to take his nose on the inside of turn 1, and Free isn't going to put up much of a fight, but he's going to try to switch back going through T1. So they touch a little bit, still side by side, as they're going to go side by side through this bank turn. Oh, looks like Snyder got a bit of grass, saves it with a sick power slide, but Snyder is going to stay behind Free, as these two, what a battle. But Snyder and Gukasian, they might be battling out here shortly. Jeez, that was close. That could have been bad. That could have been bad for Snyder. Luckily, he saved that power slide and was able to stick pretty close to Free. But as Gukasian and Provolone, these two are not fighting for championship. So if he thinks he might be slowing him down, he might want to let him go. But with only 4.5 minutes left to go in this race, you can't afford to waste any time. As Danny Byston, currently a race lead with about 2.5 seconds, followed by Andre Mostachero. And in third place, topping off your podium positions, you got Ali G with Nutella Motorsports. Hasn't been much of a fight up at the front of the grid as Masters and Iglesias are going to go at it. Iglesias is going to have to take the inside line as he's going to stay ahead going through T1. Hey Apache, how's it going? Ooh, Iglesias caught a bit of curb. Seem to make their way around this bank turn. Doesn't look like anything's going to come of that. As Gukasian, with his, I believe that's his teammate Jarek Snyder, different divisions. But he's got Provolone slowly creeping up behind him. So maybe that's the team game coming into effect for Snyder and Gukasian. They aren't in the same division, but if they can keep a one-car buffer, might just end up with some extra points finishing out this race. As we will search for battle, we got Tansky and Padberg. They're going at it. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen up there as we got Free and Pickerel going at it side by side. Pickerel's going to have the inside line. They're going to keep it clean as looked like there was looks like Pickerel has a little bit of damage, but Free is able to hold on to position. Or I guess gain the position. But he is not out of the woods yet, as there is a train of drivers behind him. As we have somebody in the pits. And I believe that's a disconnect. Very unfortunate. As Pickerel side by side with Snyder right now as they go through T1. They're going to keep it side by side. A little bit of contact pushes Pickerel wide and into the wall. Oh no, you hate to see it. As that pushes Pickerel down to P25. And with a minute and a half to go, looks like we have about 2 laps to go. He is going to have a tough time. As it looks like Miller and Ward are maybe... Oh, big spin from Pickerel, and Orozco has to dodge, and Pickerel's gonna just send it to the pit lane for this race. A very unfortunate turn of events. Oh, as Eric Gukasian hits his teammate Snyder! No! No! What is happening? As Danny Byston starts the final lap of the race, it looks like 411 Tansky is off in the background there. Wonder what happened there. This has been a series of heartbreaks for everybody in this opening race. As Tansky and... Who is that? That is Chronotis. Oh! No! As Milos Tansky getting... Oh, no. I don't even know who hit him or what happened or... Chaos. This first race has been chaos, to say the least. I couldn't have said it better myself, Vulcan. This has been carnage. Seems like everybody's out for blood. As they come around this main straight for the first time, it looks like Gukasian's going to make the lunge, and his teammate's going to follow him. Snyder is going to follow him through on the inside line. Has a little bit of team play coming into effect, it seems. As Tansky falls behind Snyder. That was, if you look at it out of a team perspective, that was really cool. A really cool move. Having your teammate follow through the lunge. It takes a lot of faith, but when it works, it looks sweet. As Gukasian and Snyder built himself a little bit of a lead, or a little bit of a gap to Tansky. As Byston, he's going to be coming around the final corner. Still undefeated in this season. as he crosses the line, winning this first race. Andre Mostachero finishing in second. Elite G finishing in third. You're going to have Joseph Kostovich in P4. Ed Kerstetter making his way around the final turn down the main straight now. He's going to be fifth. You got Manier coming around down the main straight. He's going to be sixth. You got Robert Lewis with the division win. Very impressive in P7. Mike Burkhoff in P8. You're going to have Jacob Padberg in P9. Matt Morrison in P10. Jeremy Engelman, P11. R. King, P12. Chronotis, P13. Cody Wassum in P14. Masters and Iglesias in 15 and 16th. You got Bravo 17th. Beachley 18th. Aaron Free in 19th and Provolone in 20 as they almost finished side by side. Eric Gukasian 22nd as Snyder passes him for P21. Gukasian 22. Tansky 23. You got 3, I believe that's a Roscoe crossing the line in 28th after an early heartbreak as Ward in P24 is going to cross the line. You got Eric Miller coming around the final turn of the race. I keep saying Eric Miller, but it's just E. Miller. He's going to finish in P25. You got Dylan Smith with HMS Racing in that 9 Porsche. He's going to cross the line in 26. Jason Roy Alvarez with an early drive-through. And I believe that was 2 early drive-throughs. You got one for being out of formation and the other for speeding in the pit lane. You hate to see it, but he is going to finish in P27. And he is going to need to reset for this second race, for this second qualifying session that is about to come up as he crosses the line for the final time. And what an interesting turn of events for a lot of these drivers. There's heartbreak all around as I seem to be having a little bit of trouble finding something. Anyways, give me 2 seconds. Alright, well, we're back. Couldn't find a pen to write this, our top 3 down. So, I have to put it into a WordPad. As we start this second qualifying session, ooh. Let's see, I couldn't get the Division 2 drivers. So it looked like we had so it looks like we had Lewis, knows what is going on. Anyways. I have no clue who finished. We'll see real quick. So we had Lewis, Engelman, and Wassam. Those were your top 3 for Division 2, as we will get back going, and yeah, who's gonna be the first one? Is it 55? That's maybe 4. Is 43 on a hot lap? Nah, it doesn't look like it. It looks like the first hot lap will be number 67. That is Jose Bravo in the Tacos Locos 67 BMW. You're my boy, Blue. How are you doing tonight? And which one? Bravos or Meneer? Oh, no, yeah, Meneers. We got Snyder's. We got a Roscoe, Gukasian, all of them. Fair enough. Yeah, Vulcan. After that team name, I kind of want tacos. Making me hungry. As Jose Bravo, the taco man himself, comes around the final third, coming down the main straight. Dude, he's making everybody hungry. And he sets the bar with a 147 flat. As you got Eric Kukasian closely behind. He's going to come across the line with a 48.052. Pickerel with a 47.245. You got Tanner Masters with a 148.065. Engelman taking your provisional pole in that 747 Maserati with a 146.937. You got Wassam with a 147.420. Ward 147.742. Masters, did I say Masters? I don't think so. We got a 148.065. Orozco a 148.555. A 150.040 for Dylan P. Alvarez with a 150.082. And Lewis, he jumps up to P1 with a 146.132. 17 is about to cross the line. Is that for the first time? That is. That's E. Miller. Jumps up to P6 with a 47.557. As there is a big gap. As it looks like, I believe Miller was able to get cross the line before this 5-minute marker as the Division 1 drivers start to come out. But these drivers are on their final laps, hoping they can get a good quali in, as in a short race like this, especially at Zandvoort, qualifying means the world. As Jose Bravo, is he going to be able to improve his time? P3, he is unable to improve. He's about a 10th slower as Eric Gukasian from 8th to 2nd. Scorcher of a lap. Who's that behind him? That's 33. That's Andrew Pickerel jumping up to P4 as you got 90. Tanner Masters. P9 was able to improve, but it doesn't look like he was able to break the top 5 by a few positions, as you got the 23 of Alvarez, P11. You got the 9.17 of Ward in P5. 18, I believe that's Justin Beachley, if I'm not mistaken. P10. We got Smith about to cross the line, currently sitting P17 with no valid lap right now. P15, as he sets the valid lap, has 43. 43 is going to be P16 of Aldred. 44 is going to be Reid. 45 is going to be Aldred. 46 is going to be Reid. 47 is going to be Aldred. 48 is going to be Reid. 49 is going to be Aldred. 50 is going to be Reid. 51 is going to be Aldred. 52 is going to be Reid. 53 is going to be Aldred. 54 is going to be Reid. 55 is going to be Aldred. 56 is going to be Aldred. 57 is going to be Aldred. 58 is going to be Aldred. 59 is going to be Aldred. 60 is going to be Aldred. 61 is going to be Aldred. 62 is going to be Aldred. 63 is going to be Aldred. 64 is going to be Aldred. 65 is going to be Aldred. 66 is going to be Aldred. 67 is going to be Aldred. 68 is going to be Aldred. 69 is going to be Aldred. 70 is going to be Aldred. 71 is going to be Aldred. 72 is going to be Aldred. 73 is going to be Aldred. 74 is going to be Aldred. 75 is going to be Aldred. 76 is going to be Barney. He's a P11. A 17 is going to cross the line. That's Miller jumping up to P3 with a 146.630 as he rounds out the Division 2. As now we got Andre Mostachero, your first Division 1 driver, starting his flyer. As you see the queue coming, starting around the second last turn. Queue of drivers waiting to build themselves a little bit of a gap so they don't run into each other during this qualifying session. Everyone's talking about tacos now. And there's still 2 races to go. You guys might have the opportunity to go get yourself some tacos before this next race. But I am stuck here, unable to fill my need for tacos. Mostachero comes around the second last turn of the race, followed by his teammate, the other Mostachero. Where is he going to set the bar for these Division 1 drivers, or where are they going to set the bar for these Division 1 drivers? Mostachero with a 144.692, and the other Mostachero with a 145.260. Then you have Byston, currently 2.2 seconds off pace with that beginning lap. He needs P11 after that first lap. Maybe that was just a banker. But he needs to improve by quite a bit as Kerstetter takes a provisional pole with a 44.127. Ali G currently sitting P2 with a 144.422, while it's a Mostachero second row lockout right now. About 6 tenths between both of the Mostacheros. Kostovic currently sitting P5 with a 45.472 in that 494 Mercedes. I appreciate it, Vulcan. As we got Andre Mostachero. He's going to be finishing up his final lap. He's going to be the first one to finish off, not the first one, but this is going to be his final lap of the session. Is he going to be able to jump up and take that pole position from Ed Kerstetter as he makes his way down the final turn and down this main straight? Only time will tell. He has about 2.5 tenths up. He is unable to make pole, but he's able to jump up to P2 as Byston takes provisional pole with a 143.922, overtaking his teammate by 2 tenths. But Kerstetter's going to cross the line with under a tenth to his teammate as he takes P2. Andre Mostachero and P gets moved down to P4 as Ali G crosses the line, taking P3. The other Mostachero in P5, Manir in P6, Kosti able to jump up to P5 with a 144.785. As we have 85. Who is that? I don't know. 6 is going to be their last valid lap, as that was Matt Morrison with Morrison Motorsports. P15 for him, as there was a lot of action to go on in that final lap of qualifying. Again, for the second time tonight, Danny Byston takes pole position. But alongside him is his teammate, Ed Kerstetter. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ooh, that red bar on Matt Morrison, sorry. Don't know why I want to say Mike. But Matt Morrison, that red bar, hopefully it's a bug, but that could be dangerous. Hey, Vivacious. How are you doing tonight? Let's do a quick grid rundown. Again, Danny Byston, untouchable, taking pole position. Alongside him is his teammate Ed Kerstetter with an Area 52 Sim Racing front row lockout. P3, you got a Lee G in that 30 Aston Martin, part of Nutella Motorsports. Alongside him in P4, you got Andre Mostachero. In the third row, you got Joseph Kostovich and D. Mostachero. P7 and 8, you got Provolone and Manier. Jacob Padberg and R. King top out your top 10. Is you got Robert Lewis in P11 for 949 Sim Racing, taking pole position for Division 2 drivers. Alongside him is Jarek Snyder. You got Milos Tansky and Aaron Free to follow in P13 and 14. Matt Morrison in the 6 Aston Martin, a part of Morrison Motorsports, P15. Got Andrew Pickerel in that Good Humor American Muscle Chev Camaro, P16. You got E. Miller in 17, Chronotis in 18, Eric Gagosian in 19, and Jeremy Engelman in 20. That's your top 20, but don't go anywhere. We still got a couple more to read off, as we have Dave Ward with HMS Racing in that 917 Porsche in 21. Jose Bravo in the Tacos Locos 67 BMW in P22 alongside him. Cody Wassam and Tanner Masters, P23 and 24. Justin Beachley and Barney for P25 and P26. You got Alvarez, P27. Orozco alongside him, P28. You got Denny P with HMS Racing in P29. Dylan Smith in P30. And rounding off the grid, you got Armando Iglesias and Mike Berghoff. As we are about 15 seconds to start this warm-up lap. As that first race was action-packed, I expect nothing less from race number 2, as it looks like we got Engelman doing a pit lane start. Hopefully that is his own choice and not an error of some sort. But he is going to be starting from the pit lane this race. Hopefully it was his own choosing. You would hate to have mechanical problems right before the second race of 3. As Danny Byston currently has a perfect record so far this season. If you take out the qualifying race, he has won every points paying race this season so far. He's looking to make it, I believe, 7 here. 7 wins in a row. Now, who was going to be the one, as I was saying before race 1, who's going to be the one to dethrone him, and is it going to be at Zandvoort? He got a killer start last race, and after that start, he just didn't look back. He was free that entire race. He wasn't really under threat, which is why we didn't see any of them basically the entire race, as there was so much action going on elsewhere. We didn't have any time to breathe and didn't have time to show off his lead very often. But with an Area 52 sim racing front row lockout, this turn 1 could be in Beiston's favor unless team orders are out the window for this beginning. As these drivers are going to line up in double file any second now. As it looks like they're starting to line up in double file as they make their way around this final turn of the track. Danny Beiston on the inside line, Kerstetter on the outside line. Waiting for race control once again to decide to see what they like and to wave the green flag. And we are green as Elite G gets a drive through this time around at the beginning of this race. As Beiston gets another good start, followed by Kerstetter on the outside and Elite G on the inside of Kerstetter, but with that early drive-through, Kerstetter's going to get through as Beiston still leads this race during the opening few corners as Kerstetter follows. A very unfortunate start from Elite G as they get a drive-through penalty at the beginning of this race, and that's going to move him down the grid quite a lot as there is a bit of yellow towards the back of the field between, looks like Morrison, maybe Alvarez, maybe Engelman, but who knows. But that is very unfortunate. Alvarez, he has not had a very good race weekend so far. As Beiston and Kerstetter still holding 1 and 2. As you got Provolone in the background in P9 trying to hunt down Padberg. As Lewis looks like he is hunting down King. Now it is not for position, but Lewis wants to build himself a big of a gap as he can between himself and Pickerel. Oh, as Tansky Free got caught up. It looks like a lot of them were able to avoid it, but Tansky and Free, but oh, and Ward as Bravo is in the wall. Oh no. A lot of carnage in this opening lap of the race. As the top speed of Beiston and Kerstetter and their McLarens built himself a little bit of a gap to the Aston Martins behind. As we have an Area 52 1-2 and a Naps 3-4. As Elite G takes the drive-through penalty that they acquired at the start of this race, and that's going to drop them down all the way to P29. Oh no. You hate to see it, but it happens. As it looks like Ward and Kossian are side by side going through this. I didn't want to jinx it there, as it looked like looked sketchy from the camera angle that we had. As Chronotis, and I believe that's Miller. As Masters and Engelman, it looks like team orders might be coming into play. It seems like Engelman might have had more pace, so Masters just let him by, or it might have been a legitimate move. As Barney yellow flagged, as I keep trying to click his name and he's off track. dropping him down a couple positions. You hate to see it. This has been... This track has been a heartbreak so far tonight. Let's look at this gap. The Area 52 sim racing folks, they currently have 2.3 seconds on the Naps team behind to the Mostachero brothers behind. That is crazy, and they're like 2 laps into this race, and they have over 2 seconds on the cars behind. As Provolone and Lewis are going to go side by side going through T1 as Lewis is able to make the move. Provolone's probably not going to let him have that for free. As it looks like Lewis is able to make the move stick. As it looks like Orozco and Burkhoff are side by side. Are they going to keep it clean? They are. A little bit of touching between Orozco and Burkhoff, but they keep it on track. Still side by side. As hopefully the cars behind them don't get too racy, as there is a lot of them in very little of the track. As they go 3 wide and somebody goes smashing into a wall. They keep it straight, it seems. But, geez, that was that Ward? I believe that was Ward who went off and slammed into the wall. He kept it straight. But that definitely did not feel good. Especially for the car. As that damage could play a factor with the rest of this race. As it looks like they went 3 wide going into that right, left, right complex. This fast right hand, left hand, right hand. As we got Engelman trying dipping his nose on the inside of Iglesias. Going to be side by side going into, I believe it's Kumo. It is Kumo. Engelman still has his nose on the inside. Side by side, going through down the main straight. Still side by side. As the teammate Masters is right behind. Oh, a touch between Engelman and and Iglesias, sorry. And Iglesias looks like he was able to keep it straight, but he may have ended up in a wall there. As Denny and Barney, sorry, at T1, a contact between them. Jeez, this has been more chaotic than the first one, as Burkhoff and Gukasian are duking it out here for P18 and P19. Now, Gukasian and Burkhoff are not fighting for championship standings, but who is his teammate? Snyder is his teammate, I believe. All the way up in P11, so there's still a little bit of a gap between them. As Bravo is going to get overtaken by Morrison. Ooh, looked like there was a yellow flag for Gukasian. But where were we? We're at Bravo. Morrison is actually side by side with Masters. Masters is able to hold on to this position for now. Ooh, as number 4 is off. That is Denny P in the background. He is off. As Orozco, he loses out to Ali G. As we hit the halfway point of this race. Ali G on the inside of Orozco still. That speed of the BMW, and Orozco goes wide and hits a little bit of grass, but is... Who is that behind? Is that Bravo behind who went wide? That was Bravo behind who went wide. Like really wide, and loses out a couple positions there. As Ward, after that mistake from Bravo, Ward is trying to hunt him down for P26. as it looks like Kostovic is getting pretty close to Di Mostachero. So make their way around these final 2 turns of the track. See if Kostovic is able to build up a little bit of top speed from this straight. As Mostachero takes the defensive line, but Kostovic is going to dive on the inside, making a very aggressive move on Mostachero. He's going to make it stick as Kostovic jumps up to P4 with that move. Mostachero thought he took the defensive line, but Kostovic found the gap and was like, I can still go on the inside of you, and that is what he did as he makes the move happen, jumping up to P4. As you got a Roscoe and Iglesias coming down the main straight side by side. And it looks like Iglesias is able to make the move happen on the outside of turn 1. Oh, and the Roscoe was in a wall. I looked away for half a second and he was in a wall. What happened? As Kerstetter still 3/10 off Danny Byston. But Mostachero about 6.5 from Kerstetter. Jeez. But Mostachero real close to Kostovic, wanting that position back. So make their way around this Audi S. Coming around Kumo. So going to make their way around this final turn of the track. See if Mostachero can match that top speed of that Mercedes. But even with the slipstream, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. As Kostovic holds on to P4. As another yellow flag for Denny P. A very unfortunate, as it looks like Denny P and Dylan Smith, both of the HMS drivers are out right now, or have returned to the garage. A very unfortunate second race from the HMS Racing squad. Hopefully they can kind of talk it out and see what went wrong and bounce back for the next qualifying session and the next race, the final race of this night. Final race of this triple header. As Kostovic still leading Mostachero, but not by much. A single slip up could cost Kostovic a position. But saying that, the same thing for Andre Mostachero. We got Bravo and Bravo and Gukasian bumper to bumper right now. Oh, as he makes an aggressive move and goes really wide. Tried to make the move, but he outbroke himself as Gukasian gets past. But looks like there was a little bit of a yellow flag for Masters as Iglesias gets by. As the field isn't very close, but as I say that, Aaron Free right behind Jarek Snyder. Snyder's going to have to take the defensive line going into T1, but as we saw earlier on, is Free going to try the switchback? He tries, but Snyder parks it perfectly on the apex and stays ahead. Who was it? It wasn't Pickerel. It was a Chev. It was Iglesias, I believe, who went on the outside of turn 1. As Kostovic has now gained on Andre Mostachero in P3. with just over a minute and a half to go in the second race of the night. Well, these leaders, Byston and Kerstetter, they're going to cross the line with one more lap to go. As they make their way around Kumo, they're coming around the last turn now. As they go down the main straight, they cross the line for the final, second last time of the race. As they start the final lap of the second race, the second of three, with Byston still leading and Kerstetter close in tow. And Kostovich still up here in P4, but he is in a Mostachero sandwich right now. He doesn't have very many opportunities if he's gonna make any any chance to make it up to P3 in that final podium position. As we jump on board with Justin Beachley, just getting passed by Chronotis, but Chronotis and Beachley are in different divisions, so they are not fighting, but that leaves Beachley and Wassum right next to each other with a no car gap between them. As Kostovich and Mostachero, he's still close to both of the Mostacheros, not out of the neck of the woods yet. As they're going to make their way down this small straight before Kumo. As Danny Byston and Ed Kerstetter are going to cross the line in 1-2. Byston winning it again, and Kerstetter in P2. Looks like Andre Mostachero is going to finish in P3 and Kostovich in P4. You got the other Mostachero in P5. Padberg is going to cross the line in P6. P7, you got Riley Manier, followed by R. King. You got Robert Lewis taking yet another Division II win. Jarek Snyder and Aaron Free, P10 and 11. You got Provolone, P12. Pickerel, P13, Miller, P14, Chronotis, P15, Beachley, P16, Cody Wassum, 17, Burkhoff, 18, Ali G after that, serving that early drive through, P19, Engelman in 20, Morrison in 21st, Iglesias is going to finish in 22nd, followed by Tanner Masters in P23, Dave Ward, 24th, Jose Bravo, the Taco Man, in P25, Milos Tansky in P26. Eric Kukasi in P27 as a Roscoe yellow flag as he gets passed by Alvarez on the final turn as Alvarez is going to cross the line in 28 and a Roscoe P29. Barney is going to cross the line in P30 and that's going to round it out. Oh, but actually Dylan Smith actually finished the race after being in the pit earlier on. He's going to cross the line in P31 as even though he had a bad race, finishing it is always a nice, a good thing to do. I don't know. I couldn't think of any better words. As we got Byston taking the win again. Followed by Kerstetter and a Mostachero. You got R. Lewis, Division 2 taking the win, followed by Andrew Pickerel taking P2, and E. Miller in P3 for your Division 2 finalists. Tamer the Lame? How you doing tonight?
Green light, go, go, go.
That is a car. How much? They might cost a little more than $1 as we start this third and final qualifying session of the evening. $67. That is Jose Bravo. In that 67 Tacos Locos BMW, he's going to be the first one out again. Once again, if you're just tuning in, folks, we're starting our third qualifying session of the evening for our third race of the evening. This is the triple header format where there is 10 minutes of qualifying, 2 different divisions, 5 minutes per division, sorry. Meaning 3 times the amount to win, or chance to win, I guess. With only 15-minute races, qualifying has an even bigger impact than, let's say, a 60-minute race or a 30-minute race. And especially at a track like Zandvoort, where the passing opportunities are slim, and for the bold, you need to be bold to make a pass, like a move, an overtake, and make it clean. And with how much carnage that has gone on in the opening 2 laps of this race, it has been insane. It has been chaos. It has been carnage. It has just been a mess. As Bravo, on his first flyer of the session, with about 5 minutes. As long as you get out in good time, each driver should have about 2 laps of quali heading into each one of these races. Ooh, number 9. Is that one of the HMS guys? That's Smith. He was yellow flagged there for a second. As Jose comes around the final turn, he's going to cross the line, setting the bar once again with a 146.610. But followed behind him is the that was the P3 of Orozco with a 148.412, putting him into P2. We got 55 behind. It is Eric Gukassian coming around the final turn down the main straight. Where is he going to set his first lap? From P30 to P2 with a 47.852. Then you got Justin Beachley in P2, quickly to P3, with Cody Wassum jumping up to P2 with a 147.045. You got Engelman coming across the line, 200ths behind Bravo. You got Pickerel jumping up to P3, 3.210, or I guess just over 3/10 behind. You had Ward. It looked like he picked up. Nope, that was the other HMS guy. Sorry. You got Dylan. No. I don't know what's going on. Alvarez, P11. Orozco in P9. Masters now in P9 as Gukassian P8. Let's see. Right now we got Tanner Masters in the opening stages of this lap, his second lap. He is just under 5/10 up on his delta, meaning he's probably going to jump up to P7 if he finishes the lap off like that. As Alvarez 1.3 seconds up on delta right now, as that first lap was a little off pace, but he is on the hunt for a good finish to this qualifying session, as these drivers are going to cross the line for the final time, as the Division 1 drivers have started their outlap for the final time of this evening. As Alvarez still a second up on his delta. See if he's able to keep it clean. Oh, he's going to lose a bit of time going through these last two corners there. But he's still going to be about just under 8/10 quicker from 13th to 12th. Wasn't able to do much, but who do we got in the background? It's 90. You got Tanner Masters up in P7. And 949, Robert Lewis, 4/10 up. Unable to take pole for Division 2, but he's going to start on the front row with a 1:45.907, as Engelman is going to take the top spot for Division 2 with a 1:45.700, as Danny Byston starts his first flyer. Wherever he is, there we go. He starts his first flyer of the session, as you see a couple drivers in queue ready to start their first flyer. Are we going to see another Area 52 front row lockout, followed by, I believe it was, no, it wasn't on Nap's second row, it was Ali G in third, and I believe it was fourth and fifth was the Mostacheros. Ooh, a little bit of a twitch from Danny Byston. That might slow this lap down a little bit, but he'll have one more attempt to set another qualifying lap after this one. It's Danny Byston coming around the final turn of the track. Makes his way down the main straight. What is he going to set the bar with Division 1? From 18th to P1 with a 44.660. But who is that behind? That is 14 of Mostachero. He's up to P2, just over 3/10 behind, as Munir and the other Mostachero in 3 and 4. You got Kostovic in P7, Tansky in P10. A couple of these drivers are still waiting to cross the line for the first time, as Ali G jumps the charts, and that is provisional pole with a 1:44.485. A stunner of a lap from him, a scorcher, as Kostovic, he is about 4.5/10 up on his time. That could bump him up to about maybe P5, about P5-ish. But we will see, as Ali G currently 3/10 up, but also Byston is 5/10 up. As 28 is just about to cross the line. That is Kerstetter. Don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to get. It's going to be close if he gets another lap down or not. It looks like it's going to be close. And he takes provisional pole with 144.242, and it looks like he's going to get another lap. He cut it close, that's for sure. As Danny Byston comes down the main straight, is he able to improve from P3 up to provisional pole with a 144.057? But you got Mostachero from P4. He's going to finish in P4 unless his brother has anything to say about it. Mostachero 4.5 right now as 27 of Munir in P6. Kostovic P4. You got 30. Who is that? Where are they? That is Ali G taking provisional pole with a 143.812 as Free comes across the line in P9. I don't know who just crossed. 4. You got 44. You got R King in P8. Quickly move down to P9 as Padberg takes P8. So we got 47 crossing the line wherever they are on the charts. That is Burkhoff, P19. And we got 6. Morrison, he's going to cross the line starting P11 as Ed Kerstetter. Currently in P3 with a 144.242. It's going to be the last lap of this session. Is he going to be able to take pole position? He is up on his delta by about 0.2. It's not going to be enough for pole position, but it is going to be enough to jump his teammate Danny Byston, as Ali G takes pole position with a 143.812. That was a very close qualifying session, but the top 9, 1.6 seconds apart from each other, all Division 1 drivers. That just shows how quick a lot of these top 5 drivers are. Like, you got quick, and then you got alien levels of quick. Alright, as we will do this for the final time of the evening, a little bit of a mix-up for the grid walkdown. Your pole position for this final race of the session, you got Ali G taking pole position. Alongside him, Ed Kerstetter with Area 52 Sim Racing. Behind him, or in the second row, I guess, not really behind Kerstetter, but in the second row, you got Danny Byston, the other Area 52 Sim Racing McLaren. In P3, this could spell trouble if he can't make a move on Ali, or maybe Ed will help him with his victory through team orders. Who knows? Anyways, alongside Danny Byston, you got Joseph Kostovic with 949 Sim Racing in that 494 Mercedes. In the third row, you got a third row Mostachero lockout with the Naps team. In seventh, you got Riley Munir. Alongside him, Jacob Padberg. R. King and Jeremy Engelman for 910. Engelman taking pole position for Division 2. You got Matt Morrison and Aaron Free in P11 and 12. Robert Lewis, P2 for Division 2. And alongside him, Jason Provolone with Nutella Motorsports in that 82 Aston Martin. Alongside him, Jarek Snyder with the ETKK team, BMW. Or did I get this mixed up, and is it Chronotis beside him? But anyways, Chronotis, P16 with Morrison Motorsports. You got Wasam and Bravo in P17th and 18th. Then you got Milos Tansky and Mike Burkhoff to round out your top 20. And Burkhoff was your final Division 1 driver in that grid. Anyways, in P21 and P22, you got American Muscle, as you have Andrew Pickerel in the 33 Camaro. Alongside him is Armando Iglesias in the 77 Camaro. You got Tanner Masters and Dave Ward in 23 and 24. Justin Beachley in 25, Eric Gukasian in P26, followed by Orozco and Alvarez. You got Barney and Denny P in P29 and P30, rounding out your top 30. Last but not least, you got Dylan Smith and Miller in P31 and P32. Now, these HMS racing folks, they have not had a very good time at Zandvoort tonight, as these drivers start their warm-up lap as Danny Byston is going to be starting from the pits. This is not looking good for Danny Byston. I wonder what happened. Jesus, like, there's no way he's going to be able to get past all these cars in 15 minutes. But I have been disproven before, especially by the likes of Danny Byston. But hopefully it's not an error. Hopefully everything's okay. But that is Danny Byston in the pit lane. Unless team orders are Ed Kerstetter doing the power move and taking out the entire grid. Hopeful, I don't know, Cardo. I'm kidding about that. I'm kidding about that strat, by the way. I was joking. I don't know if you can call it a strat. Like, I know it's Byston and he has the pace, but with only 15 minutes and how hard it is to take at, yeah, but he's amazing to say the least. With only 15 minutes and how hard it is to overtake at Zandvoort, you can't really expect that to be a strat. You need a good start, otherwise you're not going to have a good time. Especially with all the drama that's been happening. Once you start getting the middle of that, the pack, it starts to get a little sketchy. Hey, Huffmanic. How are you doing tonight? Hey, Fetty, I don't think I ever said hi to you. It is definitely going to be interesting. Like, I actually want to know what happened to Carbon. Like, it has to be a failure, right? Or maybe he just needed to use the restroom and didn't make it back in time? I don't know. But as these drivers start lining up in double file as they make their way around the final turn, their final warm-up lap of the evening, the final race 3 is about to get underway. The final 15 minutes, side by side down the main straight. Again, waiting for race control as we go live, and we are green flag, and the first time all night, no drive-thrus for the beginning of this race, as it looks like Kerstetter gets a good start, but not good enough, as Ali G is able to hold the inside line, but Kerstetter makes the pass on the outside, as we see Danny Byston. Oh, contact towards the back of the field, but Byston is out of the pits. Looks like Pickerel and Burkhoff were involved in that and may have collected somebody else, but Kerstetter still takes the lead early on in this last race. Yeah, oh, and who is that at the back now? 99. A yellow flag for free at that bank turn. Yeah, he's been on too much of a hot streak. He wants to give someone else a chance to win. Maybe his teammate Ed Kerstetter. As Ed Kerstetter got a monstrous start. Still under fire from Ali G, but he is still leading as Ali makes a move on the inside. But Kerstetter with the that speed of the McLaren. So it'll just pull ahead as Ali makes a move on the inside, sticks his nose in as they keep it clean, but Kerstetter is going to stay ahead, and Ali isn't able to make the switchback happen. As I come around the final turn of the track for the first lap of this session. About to start the second lap. Look at that train of cars. As is, I would have to say, the top like 12 are still pretty close to one another. Pretty big train of them. As Bravo and Beachley are going to go side by side through turn 1. Beachley is able to pull ahead, but they're going to be side by side still. As Bravo and Beachley are still side by side. They're going to keep it clean as they're still side by side going through this banked corner. As it looks like Bravo has a little bit of damage on that BMW, as Beachley is able to pull ahead, but by barely, as this train of 4 cars are getting a little bit racy, but Justin Beachley still leads the pack. But that is a very close battle between these like 4 drivers. As Lewis and Morrison side by side, but Morrison looked like he had the inside line. See if that Mercedes can get a better exit and overtake during this small straight. It looks like Lewis is going to stick his nose. He's going to back out. And he's not going to stick his nose in. He's going to stay behind Morrison for now. As we got Masters and Tansky bumper to bumper right now. And Byston, he has already jumped up to P23. Slowly making his way through the rankings as he's going to put pressure on Eric Kukasian. As Eric's got his 4-ways on. He's got them off now. But he did have them on as Byston pulls ahead. Kukasian just thinks better of trying to slow him down as they are not in the same division. As you got Kerstetter still leading this race by 2 seconds now, as Kostovic, he managed to jump up to P2 in all this action, with Ali G, your pole position setter, dropping down to P3, followed by the Mustacheros in P4 and P5. As you got Morrison and King going side by side. Morrison as the inside line is able to take the lead, but is King going to try to switch back? It doesn't look like it as Morrison jumps up to P9 as Lewis makes a move on the inside of King, as King is just going to let Lewis by. As Lewis jumps up to P10. But still 1.5 seconds behind Engelman. Your leading Division 2 driver right now. As I don't know why it said Alvarez is in first. But Alvarez is actually in the pit lane. I wonder what happened there. As Engelman and Padberg are side by side going through T1. Is Engelman going to try the switchback? He thought about it, but Padberg was able to park it on the apex perfectly. And that's going to keep Padberg in P7. You got Danny Byston. He's alongside Bravo as he's going to take the outside line going through this bank turn. And he's going to make the pass with flying colors. As he jumps up to P18 as Tansky. He is right behind Bravo, but the unfortunate part for this fast section of the track is the Porsche is not known for its top speed. But luckily with the slipstream, he keeps it close. As Byston now trying to hunt down Tanner Masters. As Padberg and Morrison side by side with Engelmann, as Engelmann has to take the outside, still has his nose in. Padberg and Engelmann touch, and is Morrison going to follow through? He doesn't have the momentum to follow through, but Engelmann is going to jump up to P7, passing Padberg. A little bit of door rubbing, but nothing wrong with that. As Padberg is under fire from Morrison and Lewis, as Morrison, oh no, Morrison, who was that? Was that Morrison and oh no, Morrison gets hit by somebody or hits somebody. It looks like the other guy was able to keep it on track, but I don't know who that was as we reach the halfway point of this final race of the evening. You can't have a Zandvoort race without, at least a GT4 Zandvoort race, without heartbreak, without drama, without action. As Mike Burkhoff currently sitting P26, trying to get by Barney in that 43 Porsche. As Barty is catching up to Ward as well. As King. Oh, we got the Mostachero. D Mostachero right behind Ali G. The slipstream. Ooh. Ali G cuts back out. That could have been bad if these drivers weren't so experienced. But these drivers, Kostovich, Ali G, and both of the Mostacheros, this is trained for second place. As D Mostachero goes wide, he keeps it straight and out of the wall, but he's going to drop down to P5 from that. He's going to drop behind the pack a little bit. As that must be annoying for the drivers, that constant yellow flag, even though the yellow is in the pit lane. Very unfortunate, but Ed Kerstetter has a 5-second gap to P2. As Burkhoff is still stuck behind Barney. As Burkhoff is going to take the inside, going around this bank turn. And they're going to go side by side. Hopefully they keep this clean. It looks like they are. As Burkhoff is able to make the move stick, as these drivers were not fighting for position anyways. But Lewis getting close to King, or getting close to Padberg, while King is getting close to Lewis. Ooh, Lewis goes a little wide as he gets passed by King. But Lewis is not going to let him have that for free, as he may challenge him with that top speed of the Mercedes. Especially with the slipstream, we may have an advantage going down this main straight if he can stay within range. As he was too far behind, as there's some drivers in the background. Looks like they're going side by side. That was Chronotis and Byston, but Chronotis just lets Byston by, and Byston has already climbed his way all the way up to P14. What is this man doing? As the Mostachero, Andre Mostachero, currently sitting P4 right on the bumper of Ali G. As Mostachero has the inside line going into this turn. And this, you can expect the Mostacheros to maybe follow each other through if they make the move. As Mostachero forces Ali to go wide, and that makes them go 3 wide for a quick second. As Mostachero and Ali G touch a little bit, they're rubbing doors. Very close racing between these two, as number 9 is spun out on the main straight, but Ali G is gonna stay ahead as Mostachero tries for the cutback and isn't able to make that move happen. As Mostachero is still trying to get by Ali G. As he goes wide, he's going to lose speed on this exit. I wonder if the Mostacheros are going to try to bump draft or let the other one launch, because he'll have a better exit, especially with the slip. As Ali G takes a defensive line, they're going to stay close, but Andre and the other Mostachero, D Mostachero, gonna go side by side but quickly back out. As, yeah, I don't know if that was team orders coming into effect or just one didn't want to risk it. As Free and Orozco are side by side. Orozco has got the inside line. So these drivers, they may have touched, but they keep it straight. But Orozco went off track a little bit. And that's going to give Aaron Free a better exit and an easy pass. As Byston is now up to P13 as he passes Cody Wussum. Currently has his eyes set on Provolone. As Ed has a 6.2 second gap on Joseph Kostovich in P2. As Miller and Gukasian, no, not Gukasian, Miller and Bravo going to go side by side going through this turn. But Gukasian might follow Miller through. He's going to think better of it. As Gukasian's going to go wide. Don't know what happened there, if he just locked up or something. But Miller and Bravo. Oh, big. I don't know if that was a lockup or a spin or a power slide. But Miller and Bravo still side by side. With Pickerel coming into the mix, as Kerstetter just started the final lap a couple seconds ago, but Miller is still able to hold on to P19 as Tansky and Masters side by side. Tansky looks like he's gonna a little bit of rubbing. Hopefully that doesn't end in chaos. It doesn't. They keep it straight. A little bit of door rubbing, but all clean. They both keep it on track. But Tansky's got the inside line, and Beachley might follow through. This is close, but Tansky P16, Master 17, and Beachley in 18th. As these drivers fighting have let a sizable chunk of cars gain. As Aaron Free and Orozco go side by side through T1. Orozco is going to go wide, and Aaron Free is going to hold on to his position. As Mostachero still behind Ali G, as the other Mostachero made it past Ali. As Ed Kerstetter comes around the second last corner, and he is going to come around this final corner with a commanding lead in this race. He's going to win this race with Dylan Smith going to cross the line in P30. Kostovich taking P2. And Andre Mostachero in P3. Ali G in P4. The other Mostachero in P5. Manier is going to come across the line in P6. Padberg, it looks like P7. King P8. Danny Byston from last to 9th to 10th to 9th. Where did he finish? He finished 9th. Holy, that would have finished between him and Lewis. But 9th for Danny Byston, 10th for Lewis, 11th for Engelman, 12th for Snyder, 13th for Wassum, 14th for Provolone, 15th for Kronotis, 16th for Tansky, 17th for Tim Masters, 18th for Beachley, 19th for Miller, 20 for Bravo, 21 for Pickerel. Where did I get this mixed up? 22 for Gukasi, and 23 for Ward, 24 for Burkhoff, 25 for Morrison, 25 for Barney, 26 for Morrison. This got really messed up on me. 27 for Free, 28 Orozco, 29, I believe that's Denny P, 30 Dylan Smith, and 31 and 32nd for Alvarez and Iglesias, who did not finish this race. But that is a very good finish. Carbon has been dethroned. Danny Byston has been dethroned by his teammate Kerstetter, but also that
Reid.
pit lane start didn't help. Hey, Eric.
Hey, brought Mr. Engelman in here, which I believe was in first place in one of the races for silver, at least.
Yeah, I got P2 in the first race, and the second race I was in P1 in the second race, and Padberg took me out in the last chicane. Very last lap, yeah, but I only lost 1 spot, so that's at least in the division, so that's fine. But yeah, it was. I actually got taken out there 2 times, and even in the first race, I got taken out by Big Roll right there. So it stinks, but I mean that's just kind of the nature of people being competitive, I guess.
More importantly, how is the Maserati?
I felt good at that track. I mean, I feel like kind of it's a combination of getting used to the car and how it handles, and how to do braking and stuff, as well as I think it really does pretty good at that track. I know like one of my qualies was in the 45s, which is kind of cool. It really, like the final 2 turns, it slings. So that I really made up a lot of time on a lot of people that are coming onto the straight. I think the second race, my game like froze when I was going to hit the drive button, and I got sent to the pits. So I had to start from the pits, but I still made my way back to, I think, like 19th or 18th or something. So it was a good night. I'll take it.
Yeah, looks like you were looking pretty good out there, which pretty evident in the practice runs that you had.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a lot of setup work. There's no Coach Dave setups for this car or anything. So there's a lot of working from the default aggressive, managing the dampers, having to up the bump.
Congrats, Carbon. Carbon, what was that? Were you just bored and wanted to see how far you could get?
Yeah, I got done with it. Seemed to handle the different types of track conditions and temperatures to me.
But congrats, you won, I believe it was 2 of those races?
I thought looking really solid out there.
You won 2 out of 3.
So,
oh, you forgot
congrats.
fuel.
Thank you much. Have a good night. See you.
You as well. See ya. Reid, I made a call for the winners. I'm not sure if anyone's going to pop in here, but give it a second. There's Ed, so let's pop him in here. Go ahead, Reid. You could interview our. I think Ed. I think you won the second race, didn't you?
No, he came second. Danny Byston. So, I was gonna ask what happened to Carbon, but he's in the Twitch chat and he said he forgot fuel, and that's why he started from the pit lane last race. But
Gotcha.
there he is. Danny, you forgot to put in fuel.
Yeah, I was waiting for 30 seconds, click drive, and Coasty goes, fuel and tires. And I had 16 liters, so I wasn't going to make it.
Yikes.
It seems like the Area 52 guys have been pretty dominant at Zandvoort. Did you guys feel like you had it like pretty good chance going into this triple header?
I knew personally that the Astons were going to be really strong. and you could see that just by where they were qualifying race after race. So I had to do a lot of thinking on trying to get this McLaren to not destroy its front left. So I think we were kind of a little bit of underdogs on this track, Ed. Would you agree? But it looked like it worked out. So some of the setup work I did last night was worth it, I guess.
Yeah, Danny's amazing with the setups.
Do you have anything to add to that, Ed?
Not that I can. It was just good race. Had fun with Danny in the second race. Sucks that forgot fuel in the third. That would have been interesting because the roles would have been reversed as it was in the second, more than likely. With me starting on the outside and able to get around. I don't remember that one. Alibaba. I forget who that was that started on pole, but whoever that was put up a really good lap. That was I think they ran like a between 8. So that was really good. But overall good race. Had a fun first race. Trying to work my way back up through after some contact in the third corner. But pretty good night.
I think you're being a little humble, because you're definitely quicker on pace than I was, and you just came into the server just before qualifying.
Maybe
so you didn't get to practice that. So I think tonight was certainly yours.
I'll try that.
Yours as far as pace goes. So.
It'd be interesting though. This is a track where I feel like it's way easy to follow somebody.
True.
Like going in that downhill right-hander, I'd see where you broke, and then I'd see if you got squirrely or if you pushed up, and then that would tell me if I needed to back off or I could push it a little bit harder. So it's a little bit of a like a rabbit, a little bit easier to chase, I think here. So. But thanks.
Yeah. Awesome race tonight.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, it's a great job, guys. And I mean, Danny, your pace was clear with the little fuel mishap just coming through the grid. Even through our own channel, it's like there's not even necessarily trying to defend you, but just even keeping up with you was not a thing. So incredible work, looking great out there. Keep up the good work and congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
I don't know. Oh, we got Beltan and Kosti up there, so let's put them in. Mr. Lewis and Kosovich, how did you guys do?
Did okay. I think I got P1 in silver first 2 races. P1 by default in race 3 because Engelman had an incident on the last lap. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to lose P1 on the 3rd race because I had an incident with Mason. So he has every right to protest me. So yeah, that was, and from looking at the replay, 100% my fault. But overall, good race and pretty clean as far as I can see on track.
Yeah, that's a bummer. But Zandvoort is one of those places where you get a lot of wheel-to-wheel action, not a lot of room to have it. So appreciate your being forthcoming in the incident, and I'm sure our stewards will review and rule accordingly. But
sure.
I think I was kind of watching your position overall in the races, being a silver driver myself, and looking really, really strong out there. So good job, and
Thanks.
Glad you were able to have a really good week.
After the first 2 weeks, but Zandvoort's one of my better tracks anyway, so that's why I probably did as well as I did. For some reason, me and Zandvoort get along. I'm probably one of the few drivers that says that.
Well, no, then it makes 2 of us, because I love Zandvoort. I might not be great at it, but it's one of my favorite tracks. It's just the roller coaster-iness of it.
Exactly.
Toasty, how's the race for you?
Well, being in here, I kind of feel like being this guy might medal inspiration have made it because I'm only in here because of the 3rd race, and I came 2nd 3rd race, but that was That was a hell of a race. I more came in to say great racing in the Mastachero Bros and Ali, because holy heck, the final race I was a bucket of sweat with Ali right on top of me the entire time. Like I knew that I was way slower than him, and it was just a matter of like one mistake and I was gone. And same with the Mastachero guys. And Andres, I couldn't get around him in the second race. I got around his brother on the straight there. But yeah, this is just great fighting all around. The first race I was kind of off on my own, but yeah, race 2 and race 3 were fantastic.
Oh, looks like we lost Eric, but
He
yeah.
couldn't stand me.
Oh, you drove him away.
I drove him away.
But I guess I'll ask you one more question and leave you be. At a track like Zandvoort, is it very different from the GT3? Like, does the qualifying, is it still as important as it would be in a GT3 car?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Zandvoort is, I mean, even with the GT4s, I mean, they may be smaller, but it's still, like, nearly impossible to get around someone on your pace here.
So I apologize. I ducked out for a second just to get Andres and Ali in here. So just going back to what you were saying, Kosti. Ali, how was it trying to do your best to overcome the defensive prowess of Mr. Kostovic?
Man, I was pushing as hard as I could, but Posty, I don't know, he's just like, he's a wide man. So, like, yeah, like, every time I try to get a good exit, he would just block it. You know, I would think a few corners ahead, you know, maybe he might mess up, or if I just keep adding pressure. But he never really budged. And then I messed up a few times, and it cost me time. But yeah, it was an intense race. Good race, Coasting.
Yeah, great race, man.
And Ali, I noticed that you got pole position for the third race. That's quite the achievement against the Area 52 guys.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that lap. It was like, what, 43.8?
Yeah, that's.
I think it might have been a 43.7 actually.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah. I think that's pretty close to the CDA time. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I pushed in the beginning, like the first sector, I somehow managed to get 3/10 up ahead my normal time. I was like, oh no. I was nervous, like, I don't want to mess it up. And then I somehow just focused and I did it.
Yeah, that's wicked fast. So yeah, it sounds like you guys had some great racing. I'm looking forward to hopping back into the stream and watching it. So Andres, how are the races for you?
They were okay. Maybe you wish it was a bit longer, just so that, you know, especially on this track, you want to have. I don't know. In my opinion, it's who's able to hold off the pressure, right? I know, you know, Kosti and Ali were battling really, really hard. And I was just waiting for the opportunity, just buying my time and waiting, and you know, sort of that was the race I had on the third race. I was just waiting until I could attack. But the second race, I think it was okay, and the first race is they just pulled away. The first and second race, pulled away, but I was able to. I think I was within 2 seconds actually, so 2 or 3 seconds from the Area 52 boys, which are blazing fast. So congrats to them for sure. Yeah.
Well, I think that was quite the exciting set of races. I'm very much so looking forward to going back and watching them myself. Reid, anything to add or ask the guys?
Yeah, I guess just great races, everyone, and I believe next week, is it a break week? Is that what I see on the website?
I think that might be true. And Kosti, if you want to step in here and give everyone a little bit of talk about our endurance that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the next endurance race, I actually need to check the schedule. Hungaroring, okay. Yeah, I mean, we got the next Enduro coming up. It was a great time the last time. I'm probably not going to try to hyper mile this one. Strategy did not work. But it was fun doing it anyways. Now, it's a good test of you against the machine because it's 2 hours and 40 minutes by yourself. And there was definitely some good battles all the way up till the end. And there's a lot of surprises with the pit stops. So
Yes, it
headers.
does.
So
I need to find
it's
that.
a great
I
time
didn't
all
have enough
around, and
time
I'm looking
today.
for a bigger grid for Hungaroring. Hungaroring should be a blast, and I feel like it probably will be even closer than it was at Imola, just because of the nature of the track.
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm excited to get in there on that one to see. Mine was a little bit unfortunate in the one that I did in the first one, so very excited to get back into the seat for another test of body for 2 hours and 40 minutes and see how everyone does. We have a pretty good field out there, so looking forward to the race.
Yeah, looking forward to it on the 12th.
Yep. All right. Thanks everyone. Great racing. And Reid, I will let you get the closing statement while I find someone to raid.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this round 3 triple header at Zandvoort. It looks like next week is actually, if I'm reading the schedule right, is a break week. So we will see you back here on the 17th, so about 2 weeks' time, and it'll be another triple header at Suzuka.
Well, thanks everyone. Good night, and we're going to be raiding Grover Racing. Go over and check out what he's got going on. So let's push that over, and hope everybody has a good night, and see you on the next one.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.